Number 22 Texas comes to Stark Vegas to face the Mississippi State Bulldogs, where they are favored by 7.5 points. Now, someone in our chat has said Mississippi State will win by 21 points. So that is, I wonder what the odds are there if you took, Mississippi State
minus 21.
Yeah, State minus 21
Can
and
you
a
get
half.
an altered?
I'm gonna look and see if that's offered.
Y'all's thoughts on this game as the State people on this pod?
I'm excited. It's another chance for us to get Lebby's first SEC win, which is huge. Some big injury news coming into the game. Fluff Bothwell is listed as questionable. I don't. The pessimist in me doesn't think he's going to play, especially given
He's not gonna play.
Yeah, well, he's listed as questionable, so
He's not gonna play.
I'm just going off the injury report. Levy said he was day to day. I don't think he's going to play either.
If
No,
he plays,
I
he
have-
wouldn't be 100%.
I have sources.
Okay,
Are these
cool.
your
Sources.
Okay.
Source
okay.
says that say Bothwell's not going to play.
If he plays, he will play 10 snaps at most
Yeah.
and have 5 carries.
Yeah.
And he's a decoy.
Yeah. Other than injury news, Michael Taff is out for Texas. He had thumb surgery, which Jack made a great point. What does thumb surgery do to prevent you from playing safety? I mean, I feel like you could play safety with a literally in a sliding mitt, almost just do that.
Sure.
But he's not playing, which is big for us. It'll give opportunities for our wide receivers to once again try and hit some long touchdowns against Texas. The secondary is great beyond that, but he is, I believe, their leading tackler, one of their leading tacklers. Other matchups in that secondary to watch will be Grayson Littleton, one of their cornerbacks. He's got 2 interceptions. Jelani McDonald, one of their safeties, he's got 2 interceptions. And Malik Muhammad also has 2 interceptions. So their secondary outside of Taft is great, but that will be something to monitor. Can we take advantage? Brennan Thompson get over the top. Anthony Evans had a great week last week. Kind of a breakout game for him. I knew he was good, but the yardage he put up was, I think, a season high. He was just incredible last week. Another thing I'll be interested to monitor will be our secondary versus Arch Manning, so the other side of the ball. We're 6th in the not NFL, Schubert, 6th in college football in interceptions. We've got, I believe, 7 guys with interception, maybe 8. We've got a lot of guys kind of spreading the wealth, sharing the wealth. A lot of guys getting their hands on the ball in the secondary, which is big because Arch has been underwhelming this year. I'm not going to say he's thrown a lot of interceptions. I believe he's only thrown 5. But if we can take advantage and really get some key turnovers.
I fully expect it.
Yeah.
Sam Levitt threw 2, Joey Aguilar threw 2, Marcel Reed threw 1, and DJ Lagway threw 2.
Yeah.
It's not like our interceptions against Alcorn and Southern Miss and Northern Illinois, although we do have an interception against Southern Miss, and I can't recall from the other 2 games. But I fully expect it to happen, even if Arch was to be cooking.
Yeah.
Which he won't. I expect. You can continue, though, if you have more
No,
to
you're
say.
good. Continue.
But no, I fully expect that to be the case. And not that we need it, but we would love to have it.
Absolutely.
Who wouldn't love for the other quarterback to throw picks to you? Everyone's going to fence ride this game, and I've seen that at least so far. Fence riding, meaning they're going to pick Texas to win but State to cover, Texas to just survive like they did last week. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to be satisfied if we fence ride.
Yeah.
If we just cover the spread. And the fan base obviously won't be satisfied if we
That's very
fence
apparent.
ride. Sark said it himself, special teams and defense is the nature of the Texas team right now. Defensively, they've given up more than 14 points just once this year. Surprisingly to DJ Lagway in Florida, where they gave up 27. But at the same time, the most points they've scored against Power 4 competition is 21. Also against Florida, we scored 21 against Florida last week as well. Again, another opportunity for Lebby and State to get a marquee win. This is what I yapped about on Sunday to Tucker specifically, that who cares that we lost 2 in a row, or 3 in a row, right?
Three
in a row.
Yeah, 3 in a row.
Tennessee, Texas A&M, and Florida. If we win this game, everything will change. And I said something very similar to speaking about the Jaguars in the NFL. It's just because we've lost 2 in a row, 3 in a row, that it feels way different than it did when we were 4-0. This is a chance to get a marquee win. And you don't get these kind of opportunities against a program, against a brand, against that logo where they are weak. I think this is going to be the lowest spread we may ever have against Texas here in Starkville. I would imagine, even if we got really good, because I think Sark is going to bring back a better team next year and going forward. So it's maybe our best chance ever to beat Texas and that logo. And that logo is it's on par with, for us, beating the Crimson Tide, beating LSU, or beating Georgia. We haven't beat Alabama since 2007. LSU, when we beat them, that's a huge win for that kind of program. For Mike Leach, it was his first win here in Starkville against the defending national champions. Now, they weren't anything in that COVID season, but it was a huge win. 2017 was the Nick Fitzgerald game. I was at that game. That was a huge win for Joe Moorhead. And then 2014 was the Dak Prescott and Death Valley game, and that really propelled us that season towards the number 1 overall team in the country. Not that this is going to propel us to anything like that, but it is a win that it's going to be huge marquee, something for Levy to hold in terms of contract negotiations going forward, in terms of recruiting, in terms of NIL within our fan base. This is not a must win, but it is a huge chance for Levy in this program. It's a huge spot, too. This is the last game, technically, of a 4-game road trip for Texas. They haven't played at home since Arch flexed on Sam Houston. The Cotton Bowl was technically a home game for them, but they've played on the road since then. And I don't care how bad they've looked. We've got to have a chance to win this game. It's also maybe a look-ahead game
for Texas.
For Texas to play who next week, Jack? You know who they're playing next week?
I'll guess. Or you got it.
Sounds like Sanders knows.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess Georgia.
No.
Oh, okay.
I know because I was reading your notes ahead. It's Vandy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is this a look-ahead game for Vanderbilt next week? How hilarious is that to say? For Texas, Vanderbilt goes to Austin next week. So it's for the first SEC win for Jeff Levy to potentially be against Texas. Maybe you feel like he could go on a run to end this year. We could get to bowl eligibility. You'd have to imagine that we could then go handle business against Arkansas next week. So it's a huge, huge opportunity. In terms of X's and O's, for me, the biggest key to this game is, of course, protecting Blake Shapen, like I said last week. But the second thing is elite wide receivers versus Texas. Everyone talks about the Texas defense. That has not been the case. Carnell Tate, Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate was 2 for 49 and a touchdown. Jeremiah Smith was 6 for 43, a couple big first downs in that game. Florida, Dallas Wilson, Vernell Brown. Dallas Wilson was 6 for 111 for 2 touchdowns. Vernell Brown was 3 for 72. Oklahoma, even with John Mateer, being a game-time decision, having a problem with his thumb on his throwing hand, Deion Burks was 5 for 64, and Satango was 4 for 61. And Kentucky last week had 6 guys, 6, go for 3 receptions and 22 yards or more. A bunch of them had 30 yards or more, and their running back had 50 yards. I think it had 54 yards. So, they haven't been necessarily shut down elite wide receivers, and so I fully expect Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans to have a good game, and they need to. The race is, I think this is actually the race to 20 game that we talked about last week with Vanderbilt and LSU. And I hope that we can, eat in the passing game.
Yeah.
With Brennan Thompson and Anthony Evans.
Yeah. A couple more things I'll be interested to see. How does the fan base react? I think every single fan was pissed after the way we lost last week. I felt like I didn't ever want to see a athlete wearing maroon and white again. That's got some sleep, woke up the next day, and I'm back in. We're all in again. But I'm just curious, is the student section full? Do we have more Texas fans than we did Tennessee fans? What does their traveling look like? I don't expect that. It's a little bit farther of a drive. But what does that look like? Another thing, and this is the reason we lost the Florida game, in my opinion, was the little things. and that's the Xavier Gayton fumble, the missed kick, like taking care of those little things, the targeting penalty, and then the illegal contact or whatever you want to call it. Those will be interesting to see. Levy has cleaned up those things in the past. So, the first week we had all those illegal motions and false starts, and those have not been as much of a problem going forward or since then. And then, so can he clean those same things up? Can he clean up the missed field goal was very, very a small thing, but ball control. We had the fumble in the A&M game, which didn't matter because we lost that game by 20. Then we had the fumble in the Florida game, which did matter because if that's a field goal, which is the minimum for that drive, or that's kind of what you expect to be the minimum, we win that game 24-23. And then I think last thing, and I don't remember what it was. Yes, I do remember what it was. I told Jack this yesterday. I said, this is joking, but my prediction is this. Kelly Jones locks down Jordan Tyson and does the Jordan Tyson who thing. Colin Simmons is a premier edge rusher for Texas. If Albert Reese or the other tackle is in a situation where they have the opportunity to go Colin Simmons who, we won the game. That's all I'll say. If we can get some sort of just otherworldly lock-in for a night offensive tackle play and keep Shapen from getting hit too much, right? A sack, I'm okay with. 3 sacks, something like that, I'm not okay with. If we can get that kind of performance that we saw from Kelly Jones against Tyson, I think Jones is better than our tackles. But if we can get that kind of performance where we can say Colin Simmons who after one game, we won.
Good luck with that.
I don't expect it. I don't expect it. But I didn't expect Kelly Jones to shut down Jordan Tyson.
Yeah.
So.
One more thing. From what I've heard like 5 or 6, not more than that.
Sure.
People break down this game from all different facets. They all have said, okay, Texas, go do what Florida did last week. Run the ball like they did with Ball. If we can, I think for me that's the one thing I'll be looking for when I'm there in the stands, is if they're able to run the ball, which they have not been able to at all this year. They've been really bad at running the ball this year. They ran it kind of well against Oklahoma, but outside of that, they have not really ran the ball well. If they can do that, it's GG's. It's over. But if we can be stout in the run game like we have in key moments against Arizona State specifically, then I think we have a chance.
Yeah.
Really, no matter what else is happening, even if Arch is kind of getting some plays that he wants, even if Shapen's getting eaten alive. But we have to be able to stop the run. We have to limit the turnovers. But stopping the, like I said, stopping the run I think is a huge, huge part of this game. Because if they are able to just control the clock and get first downs and get Arch into manageable positions, then maybe we don't see the interceptions from Arch Manning, which I think just hurts us a ton, obviously.
Yeah.
But now we can pick the game.
Let's pick it.
Texas favored by 7.5, as I've already mentioned to kick off this preview. I'm going to take Mississippi State to cover the 7.5.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and say it. I'm going to pick us to cover. I think we're 4-3, so we're 6-1 against the spread. We've covered the spread in every game but the A&M game, so I think that us covering is a safe, not a safe bet, but a decent bet. And I'm also going to pick us to win, as I do every game. But yeah, I'll pick us to win and cover, to cover and win.
I'm taking us to win straight up.
Of course.
I mean, I haven't picked against State. Actually, I have. I picked NIU to cover, but I haven't not picked State to
Big
win a
mistake
game
there.
You
this
also
year.
picked Alcorn State to cover.
I did pick Alcorn State to cover, but yeah, that is fair. Okay. But outside of that, I've picked State to win every single game, and I think they will win this Saturday. This just feels like a vibes game. Texas is now playing their 4th straight game away from home. I think that hinders them. I think the Kentucky game is not a wake-up call. I think it's a warning. I think they did literally everything they could to barely crawl out that game against Kentucky and a freshman quarterback on the road, and then tried to kind of excuse it, like Sark was saying, oh, it's so tough to play in the SEC on the road. Look, I've never been to Kroger Field, but I don't think it's at least this year should be on that kind of conversation as much as like Auburn and the Plains is. And so I think that's a warning for them. I don't think they'll be. I think this will be a better test as well with the Cowbells. I think we'll have a really good crowd. I hope.
We'll see.
I think we'll have less Texas fans here than we had with Tennessee.
I'm interested for that just because it's like first time they come here as they've
Yeah.
joined the SEC. So I'm interested. While I normally agree that'd be the case if this is a lot of people's like, oh, now we have an excuse to go to Starkville. Let's do it.
I don't think.
Look, I
anyone
think
is-
that's a crazy statement.
Yeah, I love Starkville, and I love Starkville more than any of the three of us. I don't know that any Texas fan is going, oh, good, an excuse to go to Starkville.
Well, as someone that just wants to go visit all the
Yeah,
different
that
places,
is
this is
fair.
their first chance to do
Hopefully
so.
there's not 15,000 of them, but
It won't be like the Tennessee game. I hope. Otherwise, we've got some real problems, like I had mentioned with Zach Selman post that game. And then also with how much it has been mentioned now really for 3 weeks by Jeff Levy, by the team, the negative plays, hindering drives, taking away scoring opportunities, especially last week. I actually think we're going to play a lot more focused. We're going to call – I think Levy's going to call a better game in key moments, and I think we'll take advantage of those scoring opportunities, which we have to do because I don't think we're going to get too many of them. But I think we will. I think we'll be focused. I think the team will be bought in on that. Coming back and playing for the Cowbells, I think is going to just be huge for the team with the boost of the morale coming off 3 straight losses. And so give me the Dogs to win, obviously cover. And I'll take State to win 24-13.
I was going to
Okay.
say, Sven, I put his prediction 41-20 in the chat. I don't see us scoring 41. I was going to say 23-20.
fire.
I was going to say 23-20.
And we only scored 24 against Arizona State.
It would be incredible if we got 23-20 and we got like a similar situation to last week game and against the Tennessee when we had the opportunity to go win it. It would just be like poetic for us to get the chance to go on a game-winning drive, which we did against Arizona State, but that was different, a little bit different.
Wasn't really a drive. It was
it was like 2
ball.
plays.
It was 3 plays.
3 plays. But to go actually like 2-minute drill, run the ball, screen the ball, hit him on slants and curls, work your way down the field, and then Kyle Ferry walk off. I can see it going through the south end zone field goals. I have a feeling. But maybe that's just crazy. Anyway, I would love to see the poeticness of that situation play out.